What's going on, everyone? Talen here.
And Gringo.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. One of our alliance mates actually requested us to go over their accounts, so we're going to be taking a look at the cards and the characters and maybe give some advice and check out what they've already built and give suggestions on what to change and that kind of thing. So kind of just a general account review and overview for the
for like a little maybe what to do next or where to go from there.
Yeah, so let's just start off with the cards here. So overall, just from a first glance at the cards, all very good cards. So now let's check out the stats here. First one here, Amazing Spider-Man. All stats that you want, so I wouldn't really change anything there. Then we got our Loki number 2 here from the Legendary Battle. Again, everything looks good except for that crowd control time, but I know how hard it is. Yeah, if I could speak, how hard it is to get all three of the stats to be something useful. And if you have the all attack there, I think that's the best one to aim for. Black Panther, again, same case as the Loki card right there. The crowd control could go, but you have 2 good stats out of your possible random stats, so definitely a good roll. Loki number 1, all stats look really good there because even recovery rate can be useful, and energy attack and all attack are the main things that you want to get. So yeah, no complaints. And then your final Loki card here, everything is okay except for those middle 2 stats you might want to change, but the third one down, the all defense one, doesn't really have very many good options. So
yeah, I think the only alternative would be recovery rate, so you're good with all defense there because the other 3 stats are
so not much to worry about here. But since you only have 2 out of 4 as good stats, if you re-roll one of these Loki cards on the side because it's only quality 3, you could definitely get a little bit more out of this card from that. Then if you look at the card effects here, again, this is looking really good. It's pretty similar actually to my card stats, so I don't really have much to tell you about your cards here. Maybe just re-roll a few on the sides if you're looking to upgrade a particular stat, say your ignore defense or your attack speed or anything like that. But overall, good looking cards.
Yeah, good rolls on them too, good numbers, values.
Very good rolls. I think I'm hard pressed to get anything over 3 on my cards.
I was gonna say, I think they went in order 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, that's impressive to roll like the high amounts and get pretty much all perfect stats.
Yeah, no, those cards looking really good. I wish I could get some of those rolls.
Like that takes some people like hundreds of dollars to do. So
yeah, for sure. So now we're going on to your roster here. We have 3 tier 3s, so let's go ahead and just take a quick look at your tier 3s here. So Magneto, again, Magneto's a pretty good choice right here. He's really good for GBR. He can do a lot in any floor of Shadowland, really. Unlike the later floors, he can clear those. Does World Boss Ultimate decently, but you need to get that tier 3 skill lined up with the damage proc, and that is where I see a bit of an issue.
You need a damage proc.
Yeah, I would definitely go with the damage proc on him. He doesn't necessarily need that immune to guard break, so you can get rid of that as well because he has so many iframes. You can give him like crit rate and crit damage, or if you need more ignore defense, go with ignore defense, or just any other stats that you might need to cap out. But I think a damage proc would do really well at Magneto for you.
Yeah, and it would back up that overdrive you rolled for him too.
Yeah, exactly. Now Cap here, you want to talk a little bit of Cap?
Captain America, of course, it looks like you kind of went for a defensive / healing build here. The DDE looks nice. The stats on the Urus look good, building him towards more HP and stuff. And the CTP of Refinement, giving him even more HP, buffing the recovery rate, the guard hits, and giving him a heal. So his defensiveness already getting amplified by that. Yeah. And then his skills giving him even more survivability. So good job there.
Just make him really tough to kill, so it looks like you're going with more of a PvP or just like a tanky build on him than offensive. And then for Thor here, we got Power the Angry Hulk. That looks good. I don't have any really Uru on him except for this last one here. Got some skill cooldown, attack speed. It's kind of surprising that you might need skill cooldown on him because it looks like you have about 30% on your cards. The Obelisk looking good. You have lightning damage and a damage proc, so I mean, damage proc is a little bit low, but I would definitely shoot for a lightning damage and damage proc Obelisk for Thor. Maybe the other stat you would want would be immune to guard break or maybe crit rate, I think is what he needs more of. So either of those, but overall, yeah, just try to get a better version of this kind of Obelisk here.
Yeah, just reroll one on the side, and then if you get a better one. You can take Thanos. I'm not really a fan of
Thanos, pretty much just a PvP character right now. It looks like you have Power the Angry Hulk on him. We got some recovery HP. Yeah, recovery HP with energy attack. Energy attack. Isn't he physical attack? Thanos? I could have sworn
I thought attacks or something.
Yeah. And then what we've got, just immune to guard break crit rates. I definitely work on this obelisk for Thanos, but it looks like you have him ready for endgame, so maybe you're still deciding if you want to do PvP or PvE with him, depending on if he gets a new uniform and what his tier 3 looks like, which I can definitely relate to that, because I'm waiting to see what happens for Thanos as well before I start building him. So yeah, just probably a damage proc, unless you want to go PvP, because I mean, that's mainly what you're going to use Thanos for right now, because that uniform is just not, his uniform is just not PvE centric.
I'll skip over the next one real quick and leave that one to you, since you just tier 3'd him. I figured you'd be a bit giddy about talking about him. I'll go to Iron Man here. I would say the main thing on him would be change the obelisk, give him a damage proc. He's got a really nice uniform now. He's got that extra shield for his HP that regenerates. His 5th skill is pretty darn good damage.
Yeah, the 5th skill does a lot of damage.
Yeah, and then the little clones on the 3rd skill and stuff, the charge to the 4th skill and everything.
He's got an iframe on that, which is nice.
Yeah, so I would build him towards a attack.
Yeah, and it looks like you're going with a defensive build on Wolverine here. If you plan to tier 3 him, though, he does really good damage with his tier 3 skill, so I would probably go with the offensive build if you want to start using him more in just like, World Boss Ultimate and that kind of content. But if you're satisfied with using him in like PvP, then this is a really good PvP build for him. You have Hawkeye, which I think Wolverine might need a little bit of extra skill cooldown, but again, go with Power the Angry Hulk if you can, because that attack speed is really nice. But also, my main concern here is why do you have the Marvel Now uniform for him? I don't know if you bought the Age of Apocalypse, the previous uniform, or not, but I definitely like that uniform better than this one. And the X-Force one, of course, is going to be the best out of the 3 if you don't have either of the other 2. So I'd definitely switch that up. So now we're going to speed through the rest of these. So Spider-Man, if you want to work on him better, get a damage proc. Invincibility is fine for PvP. Sharon Rogers, I'd say, is a really good next candidate for your tier 3. You have a really good obelisk on her, so if you want to get her tier 3, she's definitely worth it.
Time out on that one real quick. Go to the 4th gear real quick.
Oh.
Just got a question about that random energy defense Uru in there.
Yeah. What is that thing doing?
Not really gonna go over that too much. I think it speaks for itself. Just questioning that one decision right there.
Black Panther, I see you went and bought his uniform here, but I'm assuming that was for the CTP. If you want to start using him more effectively, again, go with the damage proc, because he can do decent damage with that.
Scarlet Witch, I do like the build. Overdrive, 200% damage proc, mind damage, obelisk. The only thing I could say would be maybe add some Uru to her and enhance potential, because she's a top character even though she doesn't have a tier 3.
Get her level 70, because she can do really high stages of World Boss Ultimate for you. Kind of the same thing for Quicksilver. If you get him to level 70, he can do really high stages, but even at level 60, he does surprisingly well as a level 60 compared to other level 60s, and you've already invested a CTP of energy, so I mean, might as well get him to level 70, because he can do a lot for you. Hawkeye, again, if you're lacking on the skill cooldown, then that's fine, but I would still go with Power the Angry Hulk for that attack speed, because he does really well with attack speed.
Yeah. Black Dwarf, or Cull Obsidian with his new uniform, I really like him. He's a really good damage dealer for me. The one thing I would do would be change the obelisk again instead of HP recovery. Since he already has the natural HP recovery, I would give him a damage proc, because you already have the overdrive on him too, so buff that even more. His 4th and 5th skills are really good damage dealers.
Yeah, but again, this is a good survivability build. If you're just going for him as, like, say, the 3rd character in a Rumble for Shadowland stage, he should do really well with his obelisk to get that heal and stuff. But yeah,
I was gonna say, usually for me, he can pretty much survive anyway. He's pretty tanky, actually.
Yeah, Dormammu, he's fallen off quite a bit, so I don't know if I'd necessarily work on him, but put a damage proc on him if you want to. Ebony, again, he's just going to be support, so I wouldn't necessarily build him unless you need him for Shadowland.
Proxima.
Really good.
I got this one.
Yeah.
Another one where I would change it to a damage proc for the obelisk on Proxima, because again, she's got pretty good damage.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of stuns on her skills. She's pretty quick with them. She's got some decent iframes on them. So
Yeah, I like Proxpa. She's good. Looks like your Apocalypse is actually pretty good. You have immune to guard break on him, so it looks like you're just doubling up if you want to use him for PvP, because he has super armor if I remember correctly. And immune to snare, so you're using him for ABX it looks like. Yeah, so Apocalypse, he still does okay. His damage has fallen off. I have the CTP of energy on him, and I'm still kind of unimpressed on using him in like World Boss Ultimate and even like stage 50 or 60 plus in Shadowland. He's does well, but not as good as I would expect.
yeah. And then we'll just skip down to Deadpool real quick. You've already got the CTP of energy on him. You've got the 200% damage proc. So I would actually say, if you're not doing Sharon Rogers right now, work on him as your next tier 3, because you've already obviously invested in him a pretty good amount.
Yeah, and I would say he's probably arguably the best tier 3. Well, he's the best character in the game, especially at tier 3 to get that stack of all defense down for 3 skills.
Yeah, and then if you get the uniform as well, if you get a chance.
Yeah, and Cable's looking good. CTP of energy, I'd stick with that. Jean Grey, looks like you have a defensive build on her for timeline or something like that, which is fine, because until she gets her potential, I don't know if I'd necessarily work on her too much more, because she only does about stage 50 Ebony for me, so nothing too crazy. Well, actually, no, a little bit less than 50. She struggles with 50. She takes the whole time for me. Strife, you may want to put either a CTP of energy or just any kind of damage proc on him, unless you're going again with PvP, because he's a really good PvP character. Then give him immune to guard break and invincibility.
Psylocke's the next one I'm looking at, a couple down. Again, it's another one. I would switch the Obelisk instead of invincibility, give her a damage proc.
Yeah, but
she's
it's
already
also
got
really good stats though. Mind damage and ignore dodge.
Yeah, she's got really good stats on it, but I would maybe try to roll like a double mind damage or crit rate with some sort of damage proc on it, because I do that for her, and her survivability is already really good. She's got a lot of iframes. I think I go 5-3-1 for the skill rotation. That's all I have to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do. And then
and then like if you get that damage proc on there, her damage just skyrockets.
Oh yeah, no, she's a powerhouse. Doctor Strange looking good for PvP. Looks like you have PvP for Colossus, which is fine. And then you also do have Emma Frost here, which I would work on. I'm a big fan of Emma. She does a lot of work for me in higher stages of World Boss Ultimate. She can do GBR for me actually quite easily. That is at level 70 though, so you might have to invest a little bit more. So I put a damage proc on her if I were you. She doesn't necessarily need immune to guard break, but it might be a priority if you don't use your skill rotation, I guess. Very effectively. I don't know what to say. You need to get the third skill off to get that super armor.
Yeah.
Magic, looking good as a defensive build. Then if we go down, Angel, you might want to add an Obelisk on him because he's pretty good for Shadowland. Domino, again, another Shadowland that I would work on a little bit. Well, no, it's CPO Transcendence is fine. Phantom X, I put an Obelisk for, especially for Shadowland, if you want to start pushing into Shadowland Infinite. He's really good. Same with X23, except you actually have a good Obelisk on her, so I would keep her as is. Maybe change the ISO 8 sets on them. That might be my only complaint. Besides that, let's just skim through who else. Hulkbuster, I would probably...
Oh, yeah.
Hulkbuster, I'd probably put a damage proc on him, because Hulkbuster with this Infinity War uniform can put in a lot of work. He's actually really good. And then we have Minerva here, which Minerva's looking good. You have a damage proc on her, so I'd stick with that. Again, that's what you want to do, a damage proc. Maybe immune to guard break would be useful for her.
The next one I see down is Mysterio down there on the right. I actually put a damage proc on him. I'm kind of biased towards him, but for me, his 5th skill does like really good damage, and his survivability is amazing, of course.
Yep.
He's probably going to get the new uniform, and possibly, I'm hoping, a tier 3 in the new movie.
I could see it, since he's going to be the main villain.
Yeah,
so.
The only thing I'm worried about with that is, since he's getting a tier 3 so early, he might kind of fall off later when they start adding like 4 or 5 tier 3s at a time. So he might be a character where they do that one work on him and then they don't touch him for like 2.5 years.
Yeah. And then next, maybe if you want to get the uniform for Crystal, it's actually really good. The Fantastic Four uniform as just maybe a suggestion there. But again, save Crystals for after Endgame for any of these. Then Star-Lord here. I'll just skim through these. Alright, so you have the Infinity War uniform for War Machine, really good. I would go with the damage proc. War Machine can do insane damage, so I'd definitely go with that.
Yeah, that fit skill is really, really good.
Maybe Black Widow might get a new uniform. She's really good for Shadowland if you put a invincibility obelisk on her, actually, because her damage is fine as is. Luna would be another good character to work on for tier 3 because she's quite amazing, and you have a decent obelisk on her, actually. You have a recovery, dodge, and a damage proc. So yeah, Luna's looking good. Who else we want to look at here? 2099 I remember looking at. You want to put a damage proc on him because he can put in some work for you. Hawkeye, again, if you need the skill cooldown, go for it, but if not, I'd go with Power of the Angry Hulk.
Winter Soldier's good.
Oh yeah, Winter Soldier's looking good.
200% damage proc and the Power of Angry Hulk is really nice.
Yeah, and then your Captain Marvel, you got the new uniform, you got a damage proc on her, so looking good. Let's see, you worked on Iron Hammer. It looks like you got lightning damage invincibility. It's not too bad, but you can do really well with the damage proc if you want to. Again, mainly the suggestions when I say damage proc is if I'm assuming you're going to want to use either the character in somewhat of a medium to higher stage of World Boss Ultimate, or you're going to want to use the character in Shadowland Infinite, because invincibility is going to be fine for stage 1 through 30, but once you get to 31 plus, then you're going to want damage procs on characters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good their survivability is if they can't do the damage to complete the level. Yeah,
so just keep that in mind. And characters that don't have super armor or an iframe on their most damaging skill, I would get immune to guard break on. It's kind of the rule of thumb you want to go with. Besides that, get obelisk on Morgan. She can actually do pretty well in Shadowland. Her damage is really low for World Boss Ultimate, but she's good in Shadowland. You did get Nova to tier 2, which is nice. I put a damage proc on him because he can do really well.
I'd put a damage proc and maybe some sort of crit rate, crit damage.
Yeah.
Since you have the good attack speed on cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you'll get some pretty good damage out of him if you do that channeling skill and stuff.
Yep, and then Odin and Supergiant, I'd leave them right there. They're not too useful right now. Your tier 1s, I mean...
Tier 2, the Thing.
Yeah,
Tier 2, Human Torch.
Human Torch, yep, they're really good.
Possibly Mantis and Inferno on the side.
Yeah, and then if you do end up getting a Bio Selector...
And Korath.
Yeah, Korath is another really good option as well. Where is he? There he is. I'd work on getting him to tier 2 as well. Then if you did renew any of your selectors or biosubs, just as advice, X-Gene, I would definitely go with either Weapon Hex or Juggernaut, depending on who you need more, a Blast or a combat character, because both of them are really good. And then for the regular
please take the uniform off Mordo, just because.
Yeah, that uniform is not useful. I would get Nick Fury because I didn't see him anywhere on there. If you could get Nick Fury to tier 2, he helps a lot in World Boss Ultimate just because of his leadership and his passive, so he's definitely worth it. Besides that, what are the other ones in here? Ghost Panther is another really good one to work on as well. So those are the two I prioritize for the Biosub, and then for the X-Gene, again, it would be Weapon Hex and Juggernaut. So yeah, that's maybe a not so quick run through of your roster right there. Maybe you
but hopefully helpful.
Found it useful. Yeah, so hopefully you found it useful. But that's going to be it for this one. Don't want to make it too terribly long. Hopefully, if we end up doing this in the future, we'll make it more streamlined and just get more to the point.
Better.
Yeah, we'll do it a little bit quicker next time. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course we will catch you in the next one.